Good afternoon to you all. Hope you're well and I hope you're enjoying your Easter weekend. We have got a jam-packed show lined up for you today. If you are relatively new to us at Crafters Companion, my name is Craig Laird and I'm here with you for, well, an hour and a half now, 12 noon here in the UK, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 a.m. Pacific Time, whereas what we're doing is the show Wake Up Call with Craig, and we are dotting in some Craft Vault deals as well. Now, not only today is it a big day, today is a momentous week, put it that way. No, it's not because it's WrestleMania this weekend, although that is part of a big week. I know all you wrestling fans out like me will be enjoying the week that they've got coming up. However, this is about Crafters TV. So today we are all about crafting along. So you can see it right on the side of your screens right now. We've got our craft along. So you can see it right there. We've got Craft Along with Debbie. So Debbie and Joe, they're going to be coming up at 3 p.m. here in the UK. Or for you guys stateside, it is 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. And then with it being Monday, couldn't have a Monday Makers. No, couldn't have a Monday without a Monday Makers. That was going to go so smoothly there, wasn't it? And that is going to be 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time and 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, I am not on my own. Someone that's helping me guide through Easter Monday with you all, and he's going to be guiding the full day on Crafters TV, and he's back after a lovely long weekend off. Hiya, Joe.
Oh, hello, Craig. So good to be back with you. What a fabulous week we've got coming up. But today, lots happening, of course. It is the last day for you to get your triple points across everything here on Crafters TV and across our entire website as well. So make sure you take advantage of that. We also have, of course, the Easter giveaway, and we need you to send us in your Easter images from each show. We will reveal a winning image, which will go into my lucky egg. I feel like I'm in Cool Runnings. Like a bit big for a lucky egg, but it will go into here. And later today, during our 7 p.m. show, Monday Makers, we will draw the ultimate winner who will win a £50 or dollar spend, which is awesome. Now, it is Monday. It is the start of a new week. There is a whole sea of opportunity ahead of us. And one of those opportunities is, of course, a brand new Get It, Got It, Good. And this week's Get It, Got It Good is a fabulous one. It is, of course, from Spectrum Noir. It is our colour blend pencils that we're looking at. The great thing about this deal is that you're just paying for the pencils. And then we're going to include in here for you the blending solution and also the watercolour card. You'll get 15 sheets of that too. They're a fantastic artist grade quality pencil, and of course a great opportunity for you to get hold of something fabulous at an incredible price. And remember, we'll launch a brand new Get It, Got It Good every single Monday. It will last all the way through the week or whilst I should say, the stock lasts. Now, loads coming up in all of our shows today, and Craig is going to kick us off with some sneaky peeks.
I am indeed, and these are going to be coming up later on today in Craft Along. That's going to be with Debbie. Debbie Robinson's back in the building. I've not seen her for ages. I know she was in over the weekend here, but I personally haven't seen her for a long time. So we'll get probably about a 5-minute window change where we're able to see her. So this is our Pop-Out Expressions special friend that isn't the one on there, so ignore the one on the screen at the moment. So that's what's going to be coming along later on in Craft Vault. So what we're going to do in a moment, we are going to be showing you the Gemini Pop-Out Sentiment Collection. This is your 5 elements. So this is what is in the bundle here. So this is what you're going to need to do your craft along later on. Alternatively, if you don't have them just yet, you can purchase them today at $51.96. Here in the UK, for you guys stateside, $59.80. We're already giving you a really good saving. You're going to be getting all these extra points as well, including your Club Inspire. So within these ones here, what you can then do at a later date, come along and craft along at your heart's content. Yes, it won't be live, however, you can still craft along. You do want to craft along with them, then that is then going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time with Debbie and Joe. So now is the opportunity to get your hands on them if you've not already got them. But then what we're going to do is we're also going to be showing you something else. It's going to work in conjunction with these and many different things as well. And that is, now there's some things, you say Crafters Companion, you think Ultimate Pro, you think Sarah Davies, and you think Centura Pearl. And we've got this Centura Pearl bundle on the screen for you. Crafter's Companion Centura Pearl card collection with 80 sheets. So in these ones, what you're doing is you're getting 8 colours, you're getting 10 sheets of each. £19 here in the UK, $27 for you guys stateside. Already getting 20% off. You're already getting triple points on them, and you will already be getting your Club Inspire on top of that once you get to the checkout and check out. Now, yes, working with these ones, Debbie will be doing that, but use them as card blanks, emboss them, die cut them, foil onto them. This is going to be an absolute staple when it comes to your crafting, and you've got that Centura Pearl, absolute gorgeousness when it comes along. So that is also going to be on the craft along with Debbie and Joe later on today without the pop-out sentiments as well. And then maybe you love your die cutting, you love maybe your embossing, your stamping, but maybe you like your colouring as well. This is now bringing you to what's coming up on Monday Makers. Just to say as well, all of these I will be giving you a little bit of a teaser in Wake Up Call, but these are our Spectrum Noir Advanced Discovery Kit. So this is the buy the show, where you're getting all 4 of them. I say all 4 of them. In total, you're getting 81 elements. £79 here in the UK, $110 for you guys stateside. Really nice saving as well. However, you know, if you're across in Europe, then go onto your website. So either crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu, where you're going to find all of these products coming up today on the show. You'll also be able to have a look on the website where you've got downloads, you've got offers, you've got deals, etc., etc. on the website while you are there. So that is what's coming up in Monday Maker. 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. So I alluded to a moment ago, we will be having a little look at these as the show goes on Wake Up Call. But what we're also doing now throughout the show is we are sprinkling a few things that the main man himself, Joe, is a way to show you.
Oh yes, absolutely. We are going to be, of course, in the Craft Vault, which is fantastic because the Craft Vault is where you find some of the juiciest deals of the entire day, actually. And we're going to kick off with something that is back in stock. We only had 2 of these in stock recently. Then we were down to 1, but we have managed to restock on our metallic markers, which is brilliant. So within here, you're going to pay for the antique elements and the rare minerals, and we are then going to give you the precious metals too. Let me just share with you what you're actually getting in here. So these are the colours that you are going to receive. So you can see you're going to get all of these, which is fantastic. And the great thing about them is how incredibly versatile they are too, because they will work onto a whole host of different mediums. $23.98 if you're in the UK. It's less than £20 for Platinum members, and $33.90 goes down to $27 and change for Platinum members. And remember, also, what you're going to receive, of course, is triple points across absolutely everything in show and across the entire website too. And the great thing is about that, that is a whole collection. So a whole collection from Spectrum Noir for that incredible price is awesome. Craig, these are so incredibly versatile, aren't they?
So versatile. Usually when you think of metallics, you only think of one way of using them, and that's direct to cardstock, which is what you're going to be doing with them. However, you can then be painting with them with your watercolor, or maybe your water brush, maybe your my mind's totally gone. Paintbrush with water brush, that's the word as well. Maybe you want to do your clear sparkle overlay, but then you can stamp with them, you can do lots of different things. But before we crack on with that one, let's have a look and see who is tuning in today to wish us good morning or afternoon. We've got Patty Redmond saying good morning, everyone from Michigan. Well, good morning to you, afternoon, for anyone here in the UK or across Europe. Georgiana saying morning, Craig, and all the CTV peeps from Clearwater, Florida. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I had a lovely weekend, very, very quiet. I literally done nothing. And you're probably like, yeah, what do you really, nothing, absolutely nothing. What about you, Joe?
I saw my parents this weekend, which was lovely, for the first time in 14 months, Craig. So it was wonderful, and I ate a lot of food, mostly pizza and roast potatoes. It was very good, loved it. Have you had some chocolate, Craig?
Some more. Seems to be a recurring theme. Some more of just those white chocolate mini, like not mini eggs, but Milky Bar eggs. There's a little
delicious, absolutely delicious. Treat yourself. It's Easter.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, and I can't just have one. I'm always like a gerbil. I stick 2 in my mouth, and then I let them go really warm, so the chocolate inside melts, and then I crunch the shell.
How do you eat yours?
Yep, let's not go into a Cadbury's cream egg. We've got Shelley saying good morning from Michigan. Monica saying good morning, everyone. Hope you're all recovering from Easter feasts. I get to go and get my second shot for COVID today. I'm excited. Right, good luck. Thumbs up to all of you and anyone else getting theirs. And just do a couple more. Katie saying good morning, afternoon, evening. Craig, CTV crew, social team and my crafty friends. I'm not sure if we've got the microphone working yet. Good morning, George.
Good morning, Craig. Good morning, Joe.
Good
morning.
afternoon, George. Oh, no, sorry.
Craig, we're going to have one of those days today. I know, it's just, we're only 11 minutes in. Should we just go back to the start?
Can we just rewind? Right, deal. Other George?
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, look. She's not been sounding like that this morning, was she?
Hello, everyone. Georgina doesn't talk like that.
Like a hurricane when she walks in here. Doors fly open, voice up to the air. There you go. Yeah, that didn't sound like what came across here, that's for sure. Right, dear, let's have a look.
Sorry. Happy Easter, everyone.
I know, eh? Right, let's go into these ones. So for these ones here, we're doing precious metal. Now, we've got on one side, we've got a brush nib, real flexible brush nib on one end. And then on the other end, we have a real fine bullet nib. Now, it's a bullet nib, but it's a little bit more flexible than what you would maybe think with past bullet nibs on, for instance, like our glitter pens. Now, what you are able to do is you're able to lay that colour down. Now, metallic silver straight onto the black. How luxurious does that look, Joe?
Awesome,
Isn't it phenomenal? Absolutely phenomenal that you can see here. Now, you can, if you want to, just use them to write maybe your Christmas cards. Let's get my ink flowing down that way. You can just use them to do your Christmas cards if you want. What you could also do is, let's go back into, there we go. I think sometimes when they've been sitting the wrong way, these have actually been sitting, actually this is a good tip for you actually, Joe. These have been sitting under the counter that way.
Right.
So what's meant is all of the ink, or the metallic inks, flow down to the brush nib, which is great, but what it's done, George, are we able to come close, or not close up, but camera forward here? Perfect, thank you very much, sir. So what's happening, stored them that way, because what's happened, they've been stored upright, which means all of the metallic inks come right down to the brush nib, which is great, but what it's done is it's left it half dry at the top, which is then when we get this effect here, we can see from up above, see how it's kind of like dry, it's not dried out, but you just need to let that flow all the way back down again. So that's a good way of showing you why to keep them vertical.
And you can pretend they're a magician's wand, Craig, when you are done with them. Don't they look like a magician's wand?
They do, I've never
Piff, paff, puff. There you go.
ever thought of that before.
They really do.
The Guardian Leviosa. Yeah. Oh, I know what I'm going to be doing this afternoon while watching Harry Potter.
Oh, nice.
We are, let's have a look, see if, have I got a stamp that I can show you with, maybe, would you believe, how can we not have a stamp? How bad's that, eh? Right, let's have a look, see if we've got a stamp here, if we've got a stamp, now, oh, we're in luck, okay, it's a tiny stamp, but do you know what, we're in luck. What we can do is we can even stamp with them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use my brush nib. I don't even know what this says. No, it looks like German actually. Not a Zen.
Well, Olga's in today from Germany. She's saying hello. So there you are, just for Olga specifically.
It's probably not. It's probably just the way the font is. But no, I think not a Zen. We'll find out in a moment. So what we can do is we can then coat them as if we are using an ink pad, but we are using them with our metallic pens instead. And then, look, what Joe's doing a bend and going right up to the screen.
Maybe Olga can let us know what that means in German. Let us know, Olga, in the comments.
Yeah, that would be good, eh? So now, yes, you can be stamping with them as well as just laying the colour down, but what you can also do is use them to watercolour with as well. So let's go in, and where's my water brush, which is here. So we can pop it onto our glass mat, and then we can start to watercolour when it comes to your image. So how awesome is that? It's not always that you're able to do that with a metallic pen, but with Spectrum Noir you absolutely can. And then if you want to go one step further, Joe, why not bring in your clear sparkle overlay and make all of that metallic really, really sparkly. So if you're wanting to go in, the silver one, well actually this full one, precious metal, I always think works well for guys' cards. So maybe that you want to lay some of the coloured ink over embossing folders and do your letterpress techniques, then you absolutely can do. And it gives you that metalwork look, maybe woodwork with your little rivets or that in. But you can then go into the detail with your actual pen, or of course you can then start to lay them in direct with the brush nib or the bullet nib. You've got that option within each side here. They last you such a long time. But as I said at the start, just like you would with any of your other Spectrum Noir pens, lay them flat so the ink is lined out evenly, and I can see nothing now other than a wand whenever I look at that.
What do you use yours for the most, Craig?
What, my wand?
No, no, your pens.
All right.
Oh, Craig, I've missed you, I really have. Have you got a wand?
No. What I like to use mine the most is I like to use them for direct colouring. Now, the way to get the incredible look is to go onto straight dark cardstock. So black card, maybe a navy cardstock, a craft card, something like that. But you can absolutely use them on a white card, just to show you can go direct onto a lighter cardstock, but you will get that full metallic base coming through onto a darker shade.
Oh, Craig, it's good to be back with you. Do you know what it is, Craig? We've all got that sort of weekend feeling because it's a Monday, isn't it? It's a bank holiday, of course, here in the UK. So we are all very giddy and full of lots of lovely Easter food. Olga's got back to him. She says, Nottersen means notes in German, Craig. There you are.
Right, notes.
Yeah, now we know. Right, I just want to remind you of that awesome giveaway that we spoke about because we need you to send in your Easter images. Could be anything you want. It could be something you have crafted, some Easter themed projects. As long as it's got an Easter theme, we want to see it. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We'll share some of them with you, and from each show, one of you lucky lot will go into that draw to win a £50 or dollar spend, and we'll draw that into tonight's Monday Makers class. So make sure you enter yourself into there, which is absolutely awesome. Loads of you chatting away, lots of people loving the show and having a good old chuckle. Lynn says, start as you mean to go on, guys. I think it is a start as we mean to go on situation. I'm with, of course, Debbie Robinson for the rest of the day too, so no doubt there'll be lots of laughs all through the day today. Penguin saying as well, she's also only ever now going to be able to see a wand, Craig. I think that is the case for everyone. Right, what would you like to show us next, Craig?
Yeah, just go. You saying as well about the wand. A lot of people thinking the same. Many as well also saying that you're going to be using the metallic pens with stamping with because you didn't actually realise you could do that. So yeah, so good to see. Sometimes as well, you can have products in your stash and you don't always think of a specific way to use them until you see them being used. For instance, exactly the same like Colour Me Happy on Friday with myself and Ben when we had the glitter markers. A lot of people didn't realise the different ways you can use them until we were able to show you them on these shows, which is the great thing about having these shows live every day. But what we are going to do is we're going to have a look at what's coming up later on Craft Along. So this is our Gemini Pop-Out Sentiment Collection. So this is your 5 elements. You've got best wishes just for you, many thanks, with love and happy birthday. $51.96 here in the UK, $59.80 for you guys stateside. Already getting that saving, already going to be getting triple points, and you will also be getting your Club Inspire discount on top of that once you go to checkout. So that is what's coming along 3 p.m. here in the UK, 10 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Now this one here, many of you have got these home already, and I know some of you have had a little bit of difficulty maybe either lining them up or getting the folded out element. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it right back to the basics. So this bit isn't going to be a full-on demonstration. What we'll do is we'll show you how to die cut and start to manipulate all the areas. So what I've done, what would be my card blag, which is 5x7. Now I've brought in an inside layer here. So this is 1/4 of an inch smaller. So it would be, so if I take it by half, so that would have been 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, but it's double the size here. So then that's going to be just under. So we can see if I was to line it up this way. So what I've done here, instead of putting a score line all the way down the middle for the time being, I've only put a pencil line halfway, which is at the 5-inch mark. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in the die. Now, although we have our Crafters TV shows for you to refer back to, and Debbie will be on later on, you do get a little bit of a step-by-step within each pack as well, so you're not going to be left not knowing what to do. So what I'm then going to do is we've got the detail on one side. Now there's two little notches at each side. It just reminds me of little chick beaks at each side here. So you've got one on the left, one on the right, and then that's where you're actually going to be lining them up against your pencil line. So we've got these two here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that down so that they come in line with the pencil line. And then I'm going to use our low tack tape and we're going to secure them. Now don't forget, if you have made any cards or projects with these beforehand, either send them in to Craft Along Show or do get them in for Wake Up Call. I'd love to see them in that studio at crafterscompanion.com. Is it com? I want to say com? .co.uk. comsprizes.co.uk. There we go. So what I'm then going to do is you'll be able to see now that see how my cardstock that I'm using here is just a little bit too big for my Gemini Junior plates. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly just going to flip over onto my large Gemini. Got it here at the side. Now I know you could be like Sarah and Debbie and that and always have the large Gemini up to go, and then what you can just do is use your Junior plates, but you know, I do just like to have my Junior at the side of me. But I am still going to use my Junior plates for this one because all that I need to do is cut this middle bit here. So let's go in plastic, magnetic, and then top plate, cardstock, so we can take this one out. Now this is the card or the project that you do just want to take just that little bit of time. You know, you don't want to rush it. You want to just sit down or, you know, stand, whatever you feel comfortable doing. Take your time and start to manipulate all of the layers. Let's see if we've got, so there's a question coming from Brenda is saying, do they cover acetate? That's going for your metallic marker. So yeah, they do. You might need to just leave them a little bit longer to dry, but they'll go onto your acetate. So you could be using them. So let's go in with our cardstock now here. So what I'm then going to do is you'll be able to see we've still got our pencil line right along the middle. Now what you would do is you'd come along and you would rub this middle part out. If it was a score line, then that would be seen, and you don't want that. So that's why we do a pencil line first. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Score Master, which we're going to have on the show just shortly. And then I'm going to bring this one in. So what I'm wanting to do is from the edge of the cardstock just to that first cutting edge, I'm going to score, and then I'm going to do the same down here at the bottom from the edge of the cardstock to that first cutting line. I'm going to score. If you want to, you can always go along and you can help and just manipulate some of these score lines a little bit more. So all that you need to do is you do need to just find where the groove is, but then you can then go along and then just help them ever so slightly. So we can go along here. Then there's some along the bottom of the letters. So having a look wherever the score line is, go in and just give yourself a little bit of a helping hand if you feel like you need it. So we're just moving that along slightly. And then I can also do this one here. So once I find it's in the groove, so what I'm doing is where my pokey tool is here, my score tool, I'm just making sure that I can feel it's in the groove, and then I'm going to score. Sometimes you'll find that'll be a little bit of a helping hand for you. So at this point now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these two ends in here. So this side and this side, let's fold them ones over. So we've got the initial start. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start to do mountain and valley folds. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and then we're going to start to tuck all these little bits in. So taking your time, I'm going to go over onto this top side here. If you need to use your fingers just to pop them out, then you can do. If maybe you want to use a ruler, then you can do as well. So we're going to help manipulate these ones in.
Sharon's asked, Craig, do you think there's a way to combine the sentiment pop-up with the pop-up numbers?
I don't see why not. What you would probably need to do is make a longer card so that you've got the sentiment in with the pop-out numbers at each side or one at the other, but don't see why not. You would just have a little bit of a play, spend one morning or afternoon having a play and see how you can then manipulate them so that they're going to be able to cut into the same card. That's a really good idea actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that idea.
I like that as well, yeah. So taking our time, and then we're going to fold and mountain and valley fold. So let's bring these ones in here, tucking them in, and then what we can do is we can work our way along.
They are awesome, aren't they? Because they just make the inside of that card so much more exciting. Not that there's anything wrong with it, a plain insert or something along those lines, Craig, but you can still go to town, can't you, and do all of your, make a card on the outside just as you normally would, but then just have that added surprise, that added element inside. I think you're making cards to sell as well. These are going to be fantastic for that.
They are. They really, really are. Now, you might be, known for, when it comes to making your cards, putting lovely inserts in. Like when I used to make and sell my cards before I moved and joined Crafters Companion, I always done lovely inserts. But they were just maybe something, for instance, like a hunky-dory insert where it was nicely patterned and then I printed my sentiment on. But imagine opening a card where you've got something like this, where the recipient would not expect it. And that's what you want to do, is you want to give them that surprise factor as well as that extra wow factor. And if they're not a crafter themselves, which majority, I would probably say maybe about 9 out of 10 people you give a card to aren't a crafter, they're not going to know how you've done this. Some may actually even think that you've done all of that intricate cutting yourself. And I'm not going to tell them you didn't if you don't.
Yeah.
Don't need to know, do they? They don't need to know whatsoever. So once you are happy that you've got all of these score lines, what I'm then going to do is I'm going to carefully fold it over. Now we're going to match it end to end. So if we come in here, and then once you're happy, so before I actually fully press it down, you can see how we're coming together here. So this is how it's going to look. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and I'm going to pop all these little bits in. So if I take them, and I'm pressing down just one area at a time. So instead of going flat with my hand and pressing, so I'm starting at one end and I'm working my way along. That's helping to manipulate the cardstock, shape the cardstock, and it's also enabling the cardstock not to bend, buckle, and tear any bits that shouldn't. So then as we open up, we've got that full pop-out look, and then we'll be able to see. All that you need to do then is come along with your tape runner or your adhesive of choice, and then what to do as well, make sure you pop your adhesive all the way round, but not where your sentiment is, otherwise it's not going to pop out. It's going to stick into the card, which you don't want. So the surrounding areas we're going to pop in. Let's bring in our card blank again, and then I'm going to fold it back over, and then these two ends I'm going to pop up to the score line, and then I'm going to straighten that on out. Once I'm happy I've got it on one side, just need to trim it ever so slightly, but then we've got our pop-out element. So folds completely flat, maybe give or take a mil or two, but then when the recipient opens it up, they've got that pop-out look, says with love. Maybe you want to recut out the sentiments or the words or letters and then paper piece them back on. So it really is a statement insert. So not only would your card be a statement card, the insert would be a real statement piece as well. So there we go. So a little bit of more of a step-by-step when it comes to doing the popper. But that is what's coming along later on with Debbie and Joe in the craft along. So Debbie will also go through that as well in her take. So that's going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK. For you guys stateside, of course, it's 10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 a.m. Pacific time. But if you want a little bit more info about the craft along, then Joe's going to give you that just now.
Absolutely. Myself and Debbie will be here with that with you 3 p.m. today here in the UK. If you want to as well start gathering the bits and bobs that you need to do that, I'm going to give you the details in just a moment. Let's have a look at the awesome project that we're going to be making when Debbie joins us a little bit later at 3 p.m. today here in the UK, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Look at that, and look at that gorgeous face there as well. Can't wait to be joined by Debbie a little later. It's going to be awesome. You're definitely going to want to make it along live with Debbie. So if you do want to do that, then here's all the items that you're going to need. You're going to want the happy birthday expression die. Craig just dropped an earring, I think. You've then got as well the contemporary watercolor card paper pad. You could use another one, it's completely up to you. Stamping card, the textured bright cardstock, black matte cardstock, the score marks with a big score, the guillotine, the red liner tape, and also some all-purpose glue too. So that's what you need to gather, and you need to join myself and Debbie, and that'll be 3 p.m. here in the UK. That'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time, which is awesome. Evangeline's saying she has just received her decorative panel border dies. She's going to be reviewing some previous shows and then doing some crafting as well. You could also watch back mine and Craig's craft along from Thursday, which was awesome, wasn't it, Craig?
It was so much fun. I really enjoyed the craft along. I know so many of you did as well, so that's how I'm looking forward to actually be watching when I'm back at home prepping for tomorrow's show and to see what you come up with Debbie's ideas.
Awesome. Mum 4 Boys says her William made one of the craft kits this weekend for his teacher's birthday card. How awesome is that? I hope he enjoyed it. Let us know how he got on. But Craig, I believe now you have more to share with us, Craig.
I do indeed. So we're going to be having a look at our Score Master, but also our envelope box maker. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using we're going to make an envelope box actually. And we're going to do it at inch in depth, because this is something that so many of you love to see, and sometimes again it's another one where maybe sometimes you have a bit of an issue when it comes to actually creating an envelope that has got depth to it. So within this one here, so Joe's going to be going over it with you just shortly, but you do get your Best of British paper pad with this one. So I've taken a 12 by 12 sheet from my cardstock, and then what I'm going to do is let's have a look. We are having a look at the measurements. So anything in white, you need A4 card or letter size cardstock. Anything in blue, you need A3 or 12 by 12. Anything in yellow, you need something that is a lot bigger. It tells you along the top here. So I've got a piece of 12 by 12. So let's go for, let's have a look and see. Let's go for, I'm trying to look. Let's go for a box that envelope box that is 8 by. Let's go 8 by 4.5. Let's do something really different. So we'll go 8 by 4.5. So I need a piece of cardstock or pattern paper that is 11 inches by 11 inches. I'm going to be using the line F and M, but what I also need to do is it's doing an envelope that is 1 inch in depth, so I need to use position 1 and 4. So we'll explain that to you as we go. So as I say, I need my cardstock to be 11 by 11. So let's trim this down. So I'm going to pop that one in, and I'm using one of these pattern papers that's got all the postcards on it. So I'm going to trim it to 11 by 11. Now the envelope box maker, this will slot nice and neatly on top of your Ultimate Pro. However, it can be used as a standalone like I'm away to use. So let's bring this back in. So this is where, now it's hard to see through a monitor, but what we've got is we've got number 1, 2, 3 and 4, and these are etched within the plastic, so they're not going to come off. Perfect, so I'm going to tilt that slightly, you can just see it and no more down here, perfect. And then also along here, you've got all these lines that go A all the way up to 0, that we can see here, just where my pinky is. We can see the alphabet here. So what I need to do is it says that I need to use line F and M and also position 1 and 4. So let's do line F first of all. So I'm popping it into where is position 1. So we're popping it in, and you've also got a guide as well in the top corner where your cardstock or card just sits nicely. So let's do F. So scoring at line F, then what I'm doing is I'm lifting this up and I'm pulling it all the way along into position 4. So that one can go into here, and we're doing F again. So let's do F. Then what we're doing is we're flipping it 180 to the opposite side. So we've done this side here. So we've done the opposite and we're doing exactly the same. So we're doing F. And then we're lifting it up and we're coming all the way along to 4 and we're doing F again. So this means we've got these 2 bits that we need to do now. So we've done them 2, we need to do these 2. These 2 are the M's. So what we can do is we can pop it into position 1 and we're going to make sure it's placed right nicely up at that top corner. And then what we're going to do is we're going to score at M, lift it up to position 4, and we're going to do M again. Now what you want by this point is you want them to cross over where you've already done lines L. You want to see that crossover. Flip it all the way around, another 180, and then what we can do is we can go into M again, score, and we're going to pull all the way up to position 4, and we're going to do M once again. So that now gives me all of my lines. So what we can do to start with is let's burnish all of these ones. So I would come along also with my tool and actually burnish them, but for time and speed, I'm only going to use my fingers. So what I can then do is fold them ones over. Then we can bring in our scissors. So this for me, that's going to be the top of my envelope. That's the side. And this one is the base. So this top bit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop out the full triangle there and then there. I'm going to do the same on this side, down, let's just trim that a bit better, there and then here. And then when it comes to the bottom bit here, you've got a few triangles. So I'm going to chop out this little one here. And then what I'm also going to do is this little one here, I'm going to chop down. I'm going to cut all the way in. That's creating my little tab that we can see here.
So the tab's always on the base, is it, Craig?
Always on the base, yeah. Because that's then going to enable you to have that bit of cardstock to then join onto the envelope fold. So if I cut down again and then pop that one in. So this gives us our little tabs here. So what we can do is let's bring in our tape. So I need to flip it over and pop my adhesive on the opposite side, there and then here. So what will happen in a moment, that will start to then fold over, but what I need to do as well is pop some adhesive down here. So let's pop a strip here and a strip there. So what we can then do is we can then pop this one in here. So let's fold over our little tabs, and now we're going to fold it in as if we're making a box, and we're going to press that corner. We can then fold this one in as if we're away to make that corner here. Then at this point, that part can fold over. And if you want to use the grids on your glass mat, then by all means do that. That's going to help you get a straight line. So there's that one. And then what I'm going to do is do this opposite side. And you do get, and I think it is out of stock at the moment, but you do get what's called envelope gum.
Yes.
And that's it's just like a wet glue, and you just put a very light coating at the top. That dries, and then all you need to do is maybe come along with your finger. Obviously, at the moment, everything going on, I would advise not to lick it. But all you need to do is just put a little bit of water or something just to moisten it, and it's going to become sticky.
I must say, Craig, even when I'm sealing an envelope that has the envelope gum on the flap, I always stick it down with sellotape anyway, some sort of sticky tape. I don't know why, yeah.
I think when I'm actually posting it out, I'll put a bit of tape or something on as well. But there's our 8 by 4.5 envelope box that is an inch in depth all the way round. And we can see how well that comes together. And that's just using the envelope box. You've still got the Score Master that you could be using as well.
Awesome. Shadaya wants to know if you pinched Debbie's scoreboard with a line down the middle, Craig, because she was looking for it yesterday, apparently.
Well, I can tell you this because I'm not taking the flak for this. It was actually on the lineup over there, and we couldn't find it behind here this morning. So whoever was sorting out all the products for today has obviously come along and nicked Debbie's and put it in the storage at the other side for it to be brought in today. So no, I never. But Debbie, it is here if you need it.
It is here. Fantastic. Right, let me just share with you what you are getting included in here then. So you're paying for the Score Master, which you've just seen Craig using. You will get the Envelobox Creator too, but then also totally free of charge and worth $19.99 in the UK, $24.95 in the US. You are going to get the awesome Best of British paper pad. Now this is fantastic. It's a double-sided paper pad for you, and it's a really nice versatile one. It's got a lot of a real mixed bag of imagery in here. So if you're looking for something for lots of occasions, then this is a great one. You've also got loads of toppers in the back of there. It's been such a popular paper pad on its own. However, today you get it for free when you get it in that configuration, which I think is absolutely awesome. Don't forget, keep sending in your images. We're going to see some of those soon, but you can send them in to us. All of your Easter images, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Remember, from each show, we'll pick one image that will go into the draw to win that £50 or dollar spend, and that will be happening during our Monday Makers show a little bit later today, which is awesome. Right, Craig, we seem to have loads to get through in this wake-up call. There is lots, isn't there, coming up today?
Really, a lot of people still going on about pinching Debbie's scoreboard. Wasn't me. Jake. It was Jake.
Named and shamed.
The thing is, Joe, I'll always say, if I do something wrong or something goes wrong, I'll put my hands up. But if I get the blame for something that's not me, I'm not taking the flak for it.
Well,
no way.
I always say, if I do something wrong, Craig, I immediately just try and blame someone else, and it seems to work.
Maybe I'll need to try that in future then. Let's have a look at the Centura Pearl. You get me as the sort of person that would just pan off and try and make an excuse.
Oh yeah, squeaky clean me.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is have a look at the Centura Pearl here. Now, Centura Pearl, what we can be doing, card blanks, embossing, die cutting, we could be foiling onto it as well. We could be using it in so many different ways within your crafting. But I thought what happens is a lot of the time we are using our cardstock and we're left with lots of little strips or bits left over. So I thought let's make a card using what would be kind of leftover strips. But what we're also going to do, and I'm going to do it at the end of the show as well, I'm going to use how you can use a little bit of packaging that you've got left over. So what I'm doing just now is I'm taking one of each colour and I'm going to cut strips at, I believe I've got it about ½ an inch. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut strips with every one of them. Now these might be different width, it could be different offcuts. It doesn't need to be straight, but for this sake, let's pretend that they are all straight. So what I'm going to do at ½ inch, doing our little strips, and then I've also got in a piece of cardstock, which I've cut to, I want to say, white smooth stamping card, 5 inches by 7.5 inches, but we will just double check that in a moment. So what we've got is eight strips. Now it doesn't need to be 8, it can be whatever you've got left over, it could be more, it could be less, it could be little smaller offcuts, little strips, so many different shapes and sizes. But let's bring in a piece of our card. So it was, yes, 5 by 7.5. Now what I'm going to do here is if I bring in these strips, so we've got all of these. Now I'm going to, let's roughly start, I'm going to start maybe purple. So I'm going to pop my adhesive along the back. Now I'm not necessarily doing it all the way because what I'm going to do is I'm not really going to be using it all. What we're going to do is create our own little bit of a pattern. So I'm going to go in now with this one. And you might want to come along and cut little V's in the end or maybe like at an angle, that's up to you. But what we can do is add in our adhesive and we're going to match them up to the opposite side.
This is looking rather fabulous, Craig.
It's such a simple way to use any of these offcuts. Or even then, we're always saying, think of how you can use the offcuts, but they don't necessarily have to be. You know, they could be, you might be wanting to cut them to this specific way. What I want to do is I want to try and make it unsymmetrical,
right.
Which sometimes it's harder to do that. Do you know what I mean? To try and get it really uneven can be really quite hard sometimes. So let's go back this way now. So we're going in with a bit of ivory here. So let's match that one up. And I'm doing it at different ways. You know, I'm not doing them at specific angles. What I don't necessarily want is them all to meet in a straight line. I want them to come out at different ways. So let's go in now with this one. So I'm going to pop that one into about here. Let's go in with, I think this one's the mink here. Let's do it so this one is sticking out here. And then let's bring in a piece of this one. And then let's do this one. Let's just neaten that up, pop it up against the edge. You can then trim this excess off and add more at each side, but I'm just going to trim it off to neaten it up. And then we can work our way around. So trim these bits off. So then we're left with this sort of effect and this sort of look. So then what I'm going to do is using my tape, I'm going to highlight it by popping it onto a piece of black card, which isn't quite 1/4 of an inch thick matte and layer wise, it's just a little bit smaller. And then what we're going to do is just to make it look a little bit different, and then we're going to pop it onto an A5 card blank. But what I wanted to do is I've used the word love. This is from our pop-outs. So what I've done is I've cut it out in black, cut it out in white, chopped them out, and then I've shadowed them. So I want to say it was actually the with love. So it's this die here, die cut it out, chopped it out. Now, it would look nice, you know, maybe even just popping it along the bottom there. But why not have a look at your packaging? See what you've got at home, what you want to use, what you want to use up, just to make it a bit different. So I've brought in an old packaging from one of my nesting dies. And I brought in one of our circle stitched edge. And I'm going to chop all of this layer out. So I'm going to do a nice square edge, because what I can do is use this part and I've still got this side that I can use.
I guess it's just like a really thick acetate, is it?
It's exactly what it is, yeah. It's exactly what it is. And you know something, it's quite close to being, if not, an actual construction weight acetate.
Right.
So if it's not a construction acetate, it's not far off it. So you can be using these for the backs of your shakers, for maybe, you know, when you're doing your pop-out boxes,
yep,
and you need your acetate strands, use them. We'll show you at the end of the show another way and how you can use them. So think of these different ways that you could be using them. Die cutting it out, but because it is acetate and it is thick, I popped my metal shim in. Now, I'm not going to do anything to this acetate. All that I'm going to do is we can then come in. We're going to then pop. So let's pop our layer on. I'm going to run it onto my card blank. So we can simply pop it on. So if we pop that one into place here, then what we're going to do is we're going to break it up. Yours, you know, you might want to give yours a little bit of a clean like mine. Then what you're going to be doing is being left with little bits of plastic marks, but you can then rub them off with maybe your stick away or that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come along and only breaking up from the back to the foreground with the acetate. I'm layering it on first, Joe, because what I want to do is if I put my sentiment on now, what I can then do is I can hide the adhesive on the back of the acetate by popping the adhesive on the back of the acetate, but that's been overshadowed by the words or the letters. So what we can do is let's just neaten that one up a little bit better. So let's do L-O-V-E. And you don't need to use the words or alphabets from the pop-out sentiments. Use some of your own alphabet dies that you've got at home. Or maybe you just want a fancy shape. Anything like that. But let's pop them on. Do you know what I'm going to do is let's pop it onto my glass mat so that we can very quickly anyway even them up. And then we can go in with the E. So pop that one on here. And then now what I can then do is I can pop my adhesive on the back here. Now I'd be using a finer double-sided tape for this, or a red liner, so that you're not going to see any of the adhesive strips. But what we can do is we could pop that in here, and then it just breaks up from that background to the foreground with your sentiment. So instead of having the sentiment straight on over the top, maybe you want to put a little few squares in the top corner here. Instead of using gems or pearls, then you can be absolutely doing that. But, you know, I just thought it was a different way. It's a quirky way. It's a quirky look. Absolutely going to be a good one for guys, you know, if you're not sure how to be using it. But then equally go in the opposite direction and use maybe your pinks and your purples and all that. You know, I know guys like those colours as well, but you know, if we go for the guys' colours against the girls' colours, using any of the scraps. So although they weren't scraps, that's how you can use them, but then also by just using up a bit of packaging that you've got at home for that backdrop to break it up.
I really like that, Craig. I think it's an awesome way of using that collection and a great way of using up some of your card scraps too. Loads of people loving them. Carolyn says, Craig, always admit to everything that has gone missing. Eventually, no one will ever believe you. So you just say that you took everything all the time, and then I like it. Bit of reverse psychology there from Carolyn. Really great. Really looking forward to doing that craft along, of course, with Debbie a little bit later today. You can, of course, shop ahead if you do want to get your hands on that incredible Centura Pearl. We've had some images in. Now, I'm going to share some of these with you. We will share with you which is the winning image at the end of the show to go forward into that prize draw. Kelly Grant sent this one in. Craig, that is awesome, isn't it?
Isn't that simply gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous.
Really love how she's popped the eggs into there as well. Thank you so much for that, Kelly. Deb sent this one in to us. Again, beautiful.
Another gorgeous one as well. Perfect for this time of the year, isn't it?
Really perfect. Kelly sent us in this picture. I'd love to know where Kelly is in the world. Check out those palm trees.
It's got to be America, hasn't it?
It's got to be America.
Hasn't it? Florida, maybe?
Awesome. The Easter house. Lisa sent this picture in. She is having a lovely time with her chocolate egg. I've got a Smarties chocolate egg to eat today.
Have you? Oh, yeah.
She tried to get into it and apparently it shattered and went everywhere. We did say this earlier, Craig. Chocolate egg in the fridge, not in the fridge?
No.
Not in the fridge?
No.
Okay. Yes, preferably in my mouth, which is what Georgina said. I agree with you, Georgina. Thank you for that one, Lisa. Maureen sent this one in. Love that, Craig.
Isn't that just fab? Look at that. And then actually just to say as well, you know, it goes to show that maybe a card like that with your Easter blessings, nothing's stopping you from using that real intense mirror card or fancy mirror card on the back. Love that.
Really, really love that. Keep getting them in. You've still got time to keep getting them in to us. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. We will pick a winning image in this show, which will go into the prize draw. And then a little later today, during Monday Makers, one of you lucky lot will win a £50 or dollar spend. Details are there along the bottom of your screen. So do grab them. Now, we're going to look at the stained glass windows. Oh, Kelly's in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, Craig. She just let me know.
Ooh, North Carolina.
Sounds awesome, doesn't it?
That's where the Hardy Boys are from.
Sorry?
That's where the Hardy Boys are from.
The Hardy
Boys? The wrestlers, not the other
Laurel
ones.
and Hardy.
Hardy Boys.
Right.
Laurel and
Stan
Hardy?
Laurel and Tom Hardy. No, not those.
No.
Okay. Are these wrestling characters?
Yeah, do you not hear me say the wrestlers?
No, I didn't. Sorry. I was,
Is that
I was
when
thrown.
you just zoned out? You just went...
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I had a moment. Right.
You might want to stay off my Insta then for the rest of this week then.
What is happening then, Craig? Why is it such a massive deal this week?
WrestleMania, they call it the Super Bowl of wrestling.
Right.
It's humongous. What's extra special about this one, it's the first event in over a year where they've had fans allowed. It's at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. And they're allowed, I want to say it's around about 45,000 fans.
Amazing.
But yeah, and they go at the big stadiums like 100, 110 spectators. So it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. It's like the World Cup of wrestling, is it,
That's
essentially?
It, yeah. Yep.
Fair enough. Any of you wrestling fans out there, you'll be excited. Now, talking of excitement, I want to share with you, we've got the stained glass windows on. Craig, now I don't know if you'll back me up here, I don't ever remember us having the butterfly and floral window here on Crafters TV. I think, was that a US only item for a while?
I don't know. I don't remember seeing it either. I've never seen it. And in actual fact, I don't even have it in my own personal stash at home. So
I must presume it was an auto shipment and has auto ship now, so we are able to now bring it to you. So a lot of you, if you'd bought this in the UK, you went for the original stained glass windows, you might not have that butterfly one. It will be available on the website on its own if you do want to go and get it over there. But when you get the stained glass windows in this configuration, what is awesome here is that you're getting that heavyweight acetate. That's going to become included for you for free, and the self-adhesive cardstock is coming included for free. You're also going to get 20 of the card bases, which already have the aperture cut in there, 10 white, 10 black, and then you're getting the single lily, and you're also getting the butterfly and floral window. I think it was available exclusively through QVC for a while, so I know a lot of you won't have it at the moment. Whether you're going for the whole collection, absolutely brilliant, but great to see that one now available here. If you want to get your hands on it, you can. $30.97 or $36.85, down to under £25 or under $30 for Club Inspire Platinum members. And remember, triple points across absolutely everything. So if you're eyeing that next level in the club, your last day to avail of all of those extra points. Lots of opportunities, Craig, when it comes to crafting with these, isn't there? Like, we've obviously done a few shows on them now. The amount of different things that you can do with these is pretty awesome.
it really is. So many different things, because they look as though they cut out the card, look as though they cut into your card, but they cut out, but you've got an outer frame to go with it, because you've got those aperture cards to go with it, you've got the self-adhesive black card, which actually, can I get one of those sheets, please,
You may.
Joe? That would be great, because what we're actually going to do as well, so we're going to incorporate that other half of the plastic acetate packaging that I used a moment ago. But we've got a lot of people saying that they love that card with the strips of cardstock, which is such a really good idea. Saying as well how it's nice to use scraps. So that was my idea for that one. But you know, you could absolutely cut them to specific shapes and sizes if you wish. So what we can do is, let's have a look at that single lily die. And what I'm going, I can't say that without thinking of Beyonce.
All the single lilies, all
Yeah.
the single lilies.
Cannot think of that. Now,
Make a card, make a card, make a card. Oh, oh, oh.
we should
Sorry.
do that, eh? Did she really just say that?
Yeah. Georgina doesn't. I think we should just move on,
I
Craig.
think we should, yeah. I think we should.
And they're not good when you have to explain them.
No. No.
It's the way I tell them.
Let's just say, Joe, that you didn't need to sing the song. You could have done that dance, and I would have been able to tell that it was Beyonce's dance from All the Single Ladies. What I'm going to do is, if I bring in the Single Lily die, so the die, you've got the detail, you've even got that outside edge. Once you cut it out, it's going to sit and nestle nicely in that aperture of the card blanks. But what you've also got is you've got an additional die, which then can also create an outer frame if you want, if you put them together. So you can use it that way, or you can use it as a solid backdrop if you want. But what we're going to do is I'm going to use the die with the double-sided cardstock, so black cardstock. And because it's double-sided, you've got the adhesive backing as well as the cardstock itself. So therefore, I'm going to use my metal shim for this one. And this is one that's such a good die to paper piece with because you've got larger areas. So it doesn't take long to do the paper piecing. But what I'm going to do is, for the sake of the time, I'm not going to keep a hold of any of these bits. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dispose of all these bits here. And if you do want to do paper piecing, keep in mind now that these bits specifically are all double-sided with your sticky, with your adhesive. So what I can do is I can then go back and I'm going to pop these bits out, so a couple of bits just to come out. And then what I'm going to do is I was going to pop it onto a piece of our white Nina cardstock or stamping card, but I'm going to bring in that other half of packaging that I used before. And this is where we can start to create a stained glass window effect.
Nice.
So instead of popping the image onto our cardstock, popping it onto what would be acetate, and then we're going to use our tri-blends, or you could use your illustrators or classics to colour in. So if I take this one off, and then I'm going to pop that one over the top. Now I'm going to press, I'm just going to hold my hand a minute or two, just so that we can get that heat to come all the way through. A lot of people loving your moves, Joe.
I know.
A lot of people loving them.
But Sandy wants to know if I am okay.
I think you're fine, aren't you? Absolutely fine. See, it's the start of the week. Well, it literally is the start of the week for you, isn't it?
It is. Do you want good news or bad news at home?
It could only be good news.
The bad news is, the good news is we're together for 6 weeks. No, we're not together for 6 weeks. That's a really long time. 6 whole days we were with each other, which is awesome. And it will be culminating in something very, very exciting on Saturday for you guys stateside. I'll let you know more about that as we go through the week.
And that's bad news, is it?
No, that's the good news. But if you don't enjoy the shows that I bring you here at Crafters TV, then that is the bad news. If you're expecting Ben in a couple of days, then that is the bad news, I'm afraid.
I think he's having a little break just now, isn't he?
He is taking a little bit of time off, isn't he? Which is lovely. At home with the kids. It's of course, it's end of term here in the UK, isn't it? So it's the school holidays at the moment. So Easter is slap bang in the middle of 2 weeks that the schools break for. So yeah, Craig's had a bit of time at home with the family. You'll have Rebecca with you at the weekend as well, and into the beginning of next week, which will be a fabulous little treat for you.
Very nice to see Rebecca back again. So what I'm doing now is I'm simply colouring on top of what is the acetate. Now when you're doing this, make sure you use a real deep shade of colour. If you were to use, for instance, here I'm using the light green blend, but if I was to use the lightest of shades, it's going to be really hard for you to see on the acetate. So therefore, if you use your deeper shades, it's going to be a lot easier for you to see. So what we can do is we can go into these bits here, and then we can colour in. Now I've popped it onto a piece of white card, or I've got white card underneath so that you can see. So what I can then do, so if I colour in these bits here. Now a yellow is very hard to see. I am still going to add a little bit of yellow so we can start to, oh look, that actually stands out really well. And then last but not least, let's go in with, let's do a bit of a pink. And then what we could do is come along and you can pick out any individual aperture bits you want to then colour in. Maybe you want to do them all, maybe you want to pinpoint little bits, but then using either acetate or using your packaging from your dies at home. So then what we could do is we could trim that down, or if we trim it down slightly, maybe even using the outside die to start with, what that will do is that will then sit into your aperture card blanks, and then that's giving you that gorgeous design because the black cardstock is self-adhesive, but you've got that window effect, stained glass window effect that you can see here.
I love that. Really, really awesome. And go back, if you go and have a look over on the Crafters TV over our website, we brought those to you a fair few times recently, so you'll find loads and loads of inspiration over on the website for those. Remember what you are getting in here though. You are getting 2 of the dies in here. So one that you will have seen before, the Lily Windows, one that I don't recall us ever bringing you here on Crafters TV, which is the Butterfly and Floral window. You are then also getting the card bases, which have the apertures in there. You do get the envelopes of those 2, the self-adhesive matte black cardstock, 25 sheets of that and 25 sheets of the heavyweight acetate too. It is an awesome deal there because you can see you've got a great saving of what, £18.22. Platinum members can pick this up for £24.78 or £29.48, which is awesome value for money. Now we're going to have a little look at something else now, something that I haven't seen before, so I'm really excited about getting my hands on these in our later Monday Maker Show. Before we do that, let's share with you a few more of those Easter images that you have been sending in to us. Lisa has sent this one in to us.
Wow.
Craig, they look fabulous, aren't they? Little gift boxes there.
They look really nice. Absolutely love them and the colours, the style and the shape.
Awesome. Also, Easter trees, Craig. Beth sent us in a picture of her Easter tree.
That just shouts springtime, doesn't it? Those
really
colour
does.
tones that's been used. Absolutely stunning.
Awesome. Thank you for those. You can keep sending them in. Gail has also sent this one in to us as well, Craig.
So nice. Look at that bit of a back. I can't work out if that's just Gail's done distressing with the inks or if that's one of our, you know, our 12 by 12, is it watercolor papers? You know, our...
the ones that we did with the...
Is it contemporary ones or something?
It's not these sort of papers that had that wax on them, is it, that you coloured? No.
No, it's... I want to say it's... Have I got some here?
It's an awesome project though, Gail. Thank you so much for sending that in to us. We've also got one from Michelle too. Another great Easter card here, Craig. Is this the creator card, the big scene creator cards there?
The big scene ones, yeah, really nice. So that also now goes to show how what you could do is you could start to add extra embellishments on. Keep them as they are or do exactly what Michelle's done and use them in different ways.
Absolutely, you can. Now, something that is coming out a little bit later in our Monday Makers Show, I haven't seen them before, and they are our advanced discovery kits. Have you got your hands on these before, Craig?
I've been able in a wake-up call the other week to do a little bit of a peek at these ones, and I get the opportunity to do it again. So you can see these ones here. So these are your your Spectrum Noir Advanced Discovery Kit. So this is the buy the show where you can get all 4 of them. In total, you're getting 81 elements. Now this is where you're getting them for £79 here in the UK. You guys stateside, you're getting them at $110. Now you're already getting a £20.96 saving or $29.80 saving for you guys stateside. Getting that already, you're still going to get your triple points with it being Easter, and then once you get to the checkout, it will give you your Club Inspire on top of that, depending on which level you are. Really good incentive this weekend to be buying these ones. So I thought what we can do, they are coming up in Monday Makers today, so that is 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. So let's show you 3 of them, and then we will unbox a third one and do a little bit of colouring with it. Now this one here, this is our Adventures in Colours. So this is your Advanced Discovery Kit, and it's showing you how you can then start to incorporate your classiques with your Illustrator pens. You can get all of these effects, you know, whether it is skin tones, whether it's colours, you know, whether it is the body, whether it is the clothes. But what it's enabling you to do is technique-wise, you can see it right under where it says Spectrum Noir, take your art to the next level. Absolutely prime example of that is if you go back onto a previous post on Debbie Robinson's Facebook page where she actually completed one of these. It looks spectacular. So you've got lots of things in it. I'm going to show you the fourth one in a minute as to what to expect within them. But within the next one here, what you're going to be getting is you're getting your art of illustrations. So these, once again, are focusing on your classics and your illustrator, but it's how you can get that free-flowing movement, whether it comes to your illustrations of plants or maybe skin tones or fur, anything along those lines there. Then what we're going to do is also, within the By the Show, you've got your comic beak. Comic beak?
What's a comic
I
beak?
don't know what a comic beak is. I've got Easter on the brain. I've got lots of chicks on my mind at the moment. So within these ones here, within these ones here, I always think this is a good one. Oh, I wish I had chicks on my mind at the moment. But then this one here, I think this is a good one. If you are maybe want to gift it out to a teenager, maybe they've got art of that they're doing at school. Stop it, Joe. Maybe you've got them doing art of that at school or university, college. Really good one. Each of these ones here, these are going to give you an incredible illustrator, an incredible designer that's stepping you through each and every one. But then let's go to the one that I'm going to be showing you. So I'm going to set that to the side. So this one here is going to be focusing on our tri-blends. For this is the masterful mandalas within this one here. Now, by following the info you get within the box that I'll show you, it's going to enable you how you can absolutely follow along with Baz Furnells within this one here, who's teaching you all these things that you need to know. So what do you get? So you get the package, of course, but then what you get is you get this info sheet, this guide when it comes to your alcohol markers. What he does is he gives you all his knowledge, his hints, his tips before you're getting started. You know, things that you need to know, things that you're going to learn, how you can mix colours, blend colours. You know, even although it's alcohol, some of them you can still blend together. And then you've got colour circles, colour wheels. You've got that step-by-step look on how to create different colours, although they're alcohol based. And then what you've also got as well is the actual step-by-step tutorial when it comes to the mandala. So you've got the step-by-step, you've got his top tips, it matches each step. So the step 1, you've got step 2, all the way through, including fine liners, because when it comes to this one here, it is all about the tri-blends, but it's incorporating the fine liners as well. That's just giving it that extra bit of oomph when it comes to the colour detail that you do. And to be able to colour, what you also get is a good wodge of pre-printed images of mandalas, different looks, different styles, different depths of shapes within them for you to then colour in yourself. So I'm going to tip it that way, just try and get rid of that glare. There we go. So I've happened to got this one on the top, because let's do a tiny bit of colouring with this one here. So we can then pop that to the side. Let's have a look. Let's see, has anyone had tried them before? Oh, a lot of people think we've got chocolate overload. I wish. I've not had any chocolate this morning. And the weekend team left us no chocolate.
Was there chocolate for the weekend team then?
I don't know. I don't know. Because, yeah, this weekend, or today anyway, is a brand new team from what's over the weekend, and they've not left us any chocolate, if they had any. I've got a feeling...
Johnny was in.
Johnny was in.
And Johnny, you know, Johnny would tell you himself, he's eaten a lot of Easter eggs in the run-up to Easter. What he also did, Craig, did he tell you about the whole Arctic roll that he ate on the Saturday night a couple of weeks ago?
No, I briefly
came in from
heard
work
about
a bit
this.
peckish and just ate a whole Swiss roll, a whole Arctic roll. Arctic roll is like a Swiss roll, but it's in the freezer with ice cream.
Oh,
he does. He's making me laugh at the moment. I think we've all got that lockdown diet going on, haven't we? A lot of us at the moment.
I see, you say that, and now, when it comes to Johnny, I just envision him, but in a Nigella Lawson style. You know, at like 2 in the morning, where he just comes down with, you know, his dressing gown and
The
goes
sleeping
into
cap.
the freezer and takes out the Arctic roll and just takes a big munch out of it.
Yeah, it's just a big chunk at the end
Wipes
of
it
it.
away from the side of his face and goes back to bed. Yeah.
We need to come up with a name for that alternative Nigella programme, which could be presented by Johnny. Johnny, of course, our lovely producer, who we love and adore here at Crafters TV. That's why we're able to take the mickey out of him, Craig, isn't
Absolutely, yeah. But then to be fair, he gives as good as he gets.
it? He really does.
But on a lot more subtle level, doesn't he? Well, I'll never be able to watch Nigella in the same way now without thinking of Johnny. So what I'm doing is laying down the colour here. So I'm going by the tri-blend. Now, obviously, if I'm doing it at home, taking my time, I'm going to be going through all of these instructions that Baz is giving you. And what we're able to do is do the blending when it comes to the tri-blends. So I'm going to blend these ones out. I've already gone down with the base colour. What I've then done is gone over with the mid-tone, and now I'm going to come back and I'm going to blend them two out when it comes to the design I'm colouring. But not only will Baz show you how you can go from the basics of laying down the three colours, three shades, to get this blending out. He's going to show you how you can get the depth when it comes to the corners, when you've come at these diamonds, how you can have it so you've got the depth to the left and the right, lighter in the middle. You're getting that glisten. Although you're colouring on paper with alcohol pens, you're getting the glisten look when it comes to as if it's shining on. That's using your art liners as well. So lots of different things, lots of different ways that you can be using all of these advanced discovery kits. These ones being by the show, so that's where you get all four of them being £79 here in the UK, for you guys stateside $110. Really nice way. It's a nice way to dip your toe in, because you don't need to start right at the basics as to what's been gone over within the guides of these kits. However, if you're looking to take your colouring to the next level, especially using some of the other ones where it's combining your illustrators, combining your classics, but then combining colours. Although it's alcohol based, you can still change the colours, make new colours by building layers on top of each other. So this is what's going to be coming up Monday Makers later on today, 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, £79 here in the UK, or $110 for you guys stateside. I dare to ask Joe, but have we got any comments?
Yes, we have. Sandra wants to know, were the chocolate eggs Johnny's, or did he pinch the kids? The thing is, I think when you have children that are younger, Craig, they get a lot of chocolate eggs, don't they, at Easter? And it's a lot of sugar for young children. So I think I'm condoning parents just, maybe helping younger members of the family out with the chocolate consumption. I think that's fair, don't you?
I think so. I would absolutely do that. And the thing is as well, you need to stay healthy along the line, so too much chocolate for kids, you can't always have. So you're doing your bit, aren't you? You're doing your bit.
You are. You're just helping the children out. I think that's what you're doing, taking one for the team. That's how we see it. Anyway, Sandra. Rosalind loves those kits as well. She says the larger kits are really nice. The great thing about them is as well, the reason, obviously, we've done these larger ones is because you guys loved those original Discovery kits so much and wanted to be able to progress onto the next level. If you didn't have the original Discovery kits, absolutely, you're still going to be able to come right in with these ones. But I feel like if you had the originals, you love them, these are definitely that next step on, which is awesome. I want to share with you our other craft folk deal, which we have got coming up for you, which is this one just here. Now, the pop-out expressions that we have coming up in our craft along a little later at 3 p.m. or 10 a.m. They were kind of the next generation to the predecessor, which was these ones just here. So in here, it's a very similar concept. You've got Special Friend in here, and again, it works in a very similar way to what Craig showed us with the Craft Along later. What we're also going to give you in here as well is the luxury cardstock pack in the purple. 10 sheets of the mirror, 10 sheets of the matte mirror, and 10 sheets of the glitter card. So that's awesome that you are getting that there included. And you've got the extra strong glue dot tape pen. You're actually not paying for the die in this configuration. You're getting that for free. It's $9.99 or $12.95 ordinarily. So it's really great that you've got that included in there. And remember, now, Craig, I know you've got something else that you're going to share with us next. I hear you're going to do a bit of repurposing.
I am indeed. So again, we're still thinking along the lines of how else can we use our packaging? Because, you know, at the moment, certainly at Crafters Companion, more and more products we're bringing out, we are reducing, obviously, the fact that we're using plastics where needed. However, we do still have past products that are still within the packaging. So let's try and use it up, try and eliminate them from our stash, but then it means we can use them in the backdrop of our cards. So we've already picked up on a couple of ways in which you can use them. So what I'm going to do is I've taken another one of my nesting dies, and the reason that I've got quite a lot of these ones all left over, Joe, is because if I bring in my Tiffany trolley of tricks, what I've started to do within our storage, I have started to use Tiffany's actual die pads. So
nice.
My magnetic pad, so that our dies are then on place there. So by doing that, it means I've got lots of the actual packaging left over. So what I've done is I've chopped this one down and I'm bringing in embossing folder. So with this one here, I'm going to bring in the ornate lace embossing folder. So this is a 3D one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this one into place here, sandwich it like we would do any other embossing folder. So what I'm doing is plastic shim, and then I'm doing my magnetic and then plastic shim on the top. Running this one through. So although it's plastic, although it's thick plastic, a real thick acetate, still going to give you that 3D embossed look. It will shrink it slightly in the fact it's pulled it all together because you're pulling it plastic. But what will happen is if I open that up, so I know it's obviously it's harder to see acetate on screen, but what I am going to do, so you can see it there. So even something like that on the backdrop of your card. So instead of pattern paper, having this as a backdrop where you've got that texture to it, you can do. And now I would be doing what I'm away to do on my glass mat, but just so I don't have to spend a bit of time cleaning it, I've brought in some of my blending pads, my Spectrum Noir, and I'm bringing in some of my refills. So I've gone for orange, and then I'm also going in for, I think it's lemon yellow, I want to say, LY3. And I'm going to pop some on. So let's take some dots onto my blending pad. And then what I'm going to do, the same with the yellow. So we can pop this one on. Because it's alcohol, it's going to be permanent. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to dab the colour all the way around. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow. And I'm slightly crossing over so that we can blend them out together. Because they're alcohol, what will happen is it'll help smooth it all in tow with each other. Let's maybe add just a couple of little bits. And then I'm going to add some more into place here. So help to blend it out. If I want to go back in, then I can help manipulate it together.
Always surprised how far these go, these alcohol inks, Craig.
Yeah, they go so far. I am actually topping up my ink pad with the ink. Chances are, Joe, I wouldn't have to do that. If I just went back on, I would probably still have enough ink to actually keep going and keep going. Certainly because it's on a plastic, it's a non-porous, so it's not going to dry instantly like it would to paper. But trust me, it's going to dry pretty quick with it being alcohol based. So what I'm then going to do is let's maybe just add a little bit more around the corner here.
Is it easy to remove the ink from those daubers afterwards, Craig? Do you need to worry about that? Will you just keep those? Would you just keep those now for your alcohol inks?
These ones I would just keep for my alcohol inks. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep, I would do. So by using those two colour tones, so if I move that out the way, you can see how you've changed your backdrop for your acetate. However, now I'm just going to check that is pretty much. That's dry.
Wow.
So it is quick. Why not come into place now with your gilding wax? So I'm using silver for this one. And then what I'm going to do is like we would do with any of our cardstock, I'm going to go in. Now this is another form of mixed media. You know, now mixed media is simply mixing two mediums together. So even if it's die cutting, you know, it's still going to be classed as mixed media. But now what we're doing is we're bringing in our plastics, we're upcycling alcohol inks, blending pads, gilding waxes, bringing in lots of different mediums when it comes to creating your project. So what we can then do is just finish this bit off here. So imagine that initially this could be a flat piece of cardstock with this effect and this design. So then instead of putting that bit of cardstock as your background, imagine popping this on the back instead. And then what you could have is maybe a really nice sentiment or focal frame within the middle. If I bring in a clean bit of white cardstock so that you can see it easily. So hopefully I'm going to keep tipping it that way. So we've gone from what was just a piece of plastic packaging to now look at that effect that we've got here. So on top of a card blank, maybe you want to pop that into your 8x8 or 10x10 memory books as maybe a side platform, cut down to it. That could be your corners. So many extra ways in which you can absolutely be using these ones here. So hopefully that just shows you as well, any extra packaging that you've got at home that maybe you want to try and use up, then that's one way in which you can do it as well. So there we go. Hopefully that's given you a few ideas as to them ones. But what we're going to do is we're going to head across to Joe. So he'll be just going over a few last bits and pieces for you as to what your comments are saying.
Absolutely. Loads of you chatting away. June, loving all the new creative ideas, Craig. Emma says, oh wow, never thought about embossing acetate. That is a great idea. Rita Craig says, yes, Joe, my two little ones managed to get 20 Easter eggs. Wowzers, yes, wow. 20. Most definitely has to be chocolate crispy buns made. I don't think I know what a chocolate crispy bun is, Craig, do you?
A chocolate crispy bun?
Is it like a Rice Krispie cake, as we'd call it? You know, you put
maybe
cereal and chocolate all melted together and stuff. Maybe it's one of those. But lots of you loving all of the inspiration that you've seen today. Don't forget also about all of those craft vault deals too. You'll find those over on the website. Click that shop the show button. We are, however, though, ready to announce the winner, the image of the show that we have picked in this show. So we can have a little look at that. And the winner is, it's this one just here. It's Alison Malia's, and she has got a fantastic Easter table, and you'll be able to see all of that there. Now, Alison Malius, you are going into my egg. Let me just pop it into here. Make sure you tune in at 7. Oh, here we go. To join us, I'm going to fold it up and put it into there. Alison, all the other names are already in there. Someone, one of you lucky lot, will be winning a £50 or dollar spend. And we'll be doing that in our Monday Makers show. But loads of exciting other stuff to come today, Craig, isn't there?
There absolutely is indeed. It is not only the start of the week, but it's the start of the day for lots of creative goodness. Now, that's me for today anyway. However, don't fear, you've got Debbie stepping in. I don't know actually if she's in yet. She won't be far. Look forward to saying hi. So she is then going to be popping up later on with that incredible craft-along. So she's going to be here with Joe, and that's going to be 3 p.m. here in the UK, or for you guys stateside, that is then going to be 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. So do make sure not only get your comments in, but get your pictures in of what you've made afterwards. And then what you can do is tune in and see Debbie and Joe once again for Monday Makers, with it being Monday, which is then 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or 11 a.m. Pacific Time. So there's lots of different things. You've got Spectrum Noir, you've got Floral Animals, you've got, what else have we got on the show as well? We've got lots and lots. I've got, sparkle pens and interchangeable sentiments. These are always two good things to actually mix together if you want to. So you can start to pop them in. We might have some aqua tints. Now, what I want to do is remind you, in case you didn't see last show, once aqua tints are gone, it's looking very, very unlikely that we are going to be restocking them again. So that's the aqua tint. So check them out when it comes to the website and Monday Maker. So lots of goodness coming up as well. Thank you so much for your company today. What I do want to say as well, we have got, myself and Joe, a phenomenal launch day tomorrow, which is all about Hunky Dory Crafts. So 9:30 here in the UK, 9:30, 8:30, 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, 4:30, 4:30 Eastern Time, 4:30, 3, half 2, half 1 Pacific time. Thank you, Joe, for giving me the fingers to the side there. Today, I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live from my home, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek tease as to what to expect when it comes to Hunky Dory Lodge tomorrow here on Crafters TV. It is across on my Instagram and Facebook, Craig Laird CC, so double check the times and you will find them there. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for joining me today on the start of this week. I hope you've had a blast, but there is, can't even think what I was trying to say there. Don't go far, put it that way. Just don't go far, because there's a lot more to come up on Crafters TV. Next thing coming up is Craft Along with Debbie and Joe. Have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you at the exact same time tomorrow for Wake Up Call with Craig with myself and Joe. Bye.